I've been watching these caught in the drafts for the last couple hours. They were so funny.
Okay. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. And for some reason, my intro did not work. Let me try that for a second here. One more time. This is weird.
Like you like to say, Mark, it's broadcast media.
No, this is kind of strange. Guess media. Oh, I bet you I know what I did. Hold on. Let me try that one more time because I'm going to go crazy. Yeah, that's what it is. Looked at the wrong blank screen. Okay. Uh-oh, there's an echo. Hold up. I know exactly what it is. They're telling me there's an echo. Okay.
Echo.
Hold on. That means there's one of these camera remotes. Remote camera. I know exactly what it is. Bam! It's you. How dare you? Okay. Because I took. Okay, forgive me, people. This is broadcast media. Let me bring my panel in here. It's because I took one of the cameras got unplugged by accident when I was going down to Waynesboro to work and trying to do the my family video together and all that. So it was actually, when I plugged it back in, automatically the system says, hey, there's a camera here. And so the webcam hooked back up. So I was getting the sound from it. Hopefully you guys hear me fine now. Let me say hello. It's Troy Daniels. Troy, what's up, Troy?
Not much here. Just been having some fun watching Caught in the Draft for the last couple hours.
Okay. It's still echoing? Are they shitting me? Hold on. Volumes, what's up, Troy? Okay, wait. There's still an echo. Hold on. Let me double check here. Damn, broadcast media is all messed up today. Okay, let's see. There's a second. Okay. Aha. You mother humper. Okay, there's another camera. Good God. If I could just get this damn thing open. There it is. Okay. That should do it now. That should do it. Hopefully, sometime before we run out of time, I'll have it right. More like a reverb. That should do it. Okay. Let me know if my volume is low. Okay, hold on. Damn. All right, Primetime Phil, say something. Okay.
How's it going, guys? You guys ready for the draft this week?
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it, Phil.
Yeah, man. I've been seeing so many different mock drafts and so many different scenarios. It's going to be kind of one of those things when it pops up. It's going to feel like maybe it's just a dream and it's not actually happening, But it's kind of nice to see, people are going to say, well, I was right. I'm, this and that. But, there's so many mock drafts out there that it's like eventually you're going to be right about something,
Well, that's always been my whole thing about mock drafts to begin with, because, if you do 50 of them, chances are you can say, well, I said the Cowboys were going to do X, Y, Z, because, of course, you said they were also going to do 50 other things. What was that, man?
Oh, it sounds like somebody's got something open that it's the delay between,
Somebody? Okay. Hopefully it's not me.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, Stacy, how are you doing?
Fine. How you doing? Hello.
Not too bad. I was watching.
Hey,
I was watching your stream there with one eye on the stream and one eye on getting set up here, and I messed up on a few things. A great show and stuff on there. The music?
Huh?
The music that was playing?
Uh-huh.
Were you playing? Was the music on there, or did I mess up something on my end?
No. You talking about for your stream?
I kept hearing music when I was watching your stream.
No. I had that in StreamYard, and they now have music that can play while you're actually talking.
Okay, I kept like, so I have something on here because I've got all these different screens, and so sometimes I'll have stuff that's in the background, just like we just had the fan, the mic, and stuff on there. So I was like, is she playing music on that? Okay.
I was.
Okay, gotcha. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That is fantastic to hear. Is everybody excited? I see we got Thomas Garrett. What's up, Thomas?
What's up, Mark?
Hi, Thomas.
Just getting ready for the draft. I found out Philly 500 wants to get me on his show before the draft. On Wednesday night, I've got to do something with him after listening to Cop Pizzle going, just happy to be included in something and just kind of going off and just spouting off. I was just kind of like these badass kids.
I missed that Thursday night. How did it go?
It didn't go again. Here's part of the problem in here is trying to do what I do here is easy. I can, I've got all the equipment and everything set up. I've got, the Alienware that's, over there behind me, that literally I have 5 computers that are on over here, and it's not even using up 23% of the CPU capacity. And that includes the stream there. I'm watching on YouTube. I've got the software that's sending it out and bringing it, so it's cool. My gaming laptop that I have that's about 5 years old, trying to use the streaming software, it's just like, it's a Dell computer, gaming computer, but it's still about 5 years old. It can put out the signal, but then when I was putting in an extra screen and trying to go into StreamYard, it was like maxed out at 100% CPU, and it would just kept dropping it. So I couldn't really stream it. I mean, it was a good, it was good getting together with everybody there and having the conversation and stuff. It's just I couldn't stream it on my channel with it. So I downloaded, or Michael downloaded it and put it on there. So if people actually want to see it, not live, but you can see it. So
nice.
Yeah, it's okay. It's better in real time and stuff. I don't know if people go back and rewatch that stuff. So the funny takeaway from those guys are not so much that their teams have done great things to improve their team. Their whole takeaway is the Cowboys have gotten worse. So that means we have a chance. That's their whole theory. The Eagles, in fact, they look at it and think that they've kind of sabotaged Jalen Hurts. They feel their defense will be okay, but I think their secondary still kind of sucks.
That was also their theory last year as well, too, though, that we got worse. I mean, that was a lot of our theories.
Well, it always is, because we never do anything in free agency. Big name players in free agency, but you can sit here and look and say, true, but you look at, say, the Giants, that they're trying to shop their number 1 pick from last year in the draft. Well, our number 1 pick was Defensive Rookie of the Year, so, that makes a big difference. You look at the Eagles every year trying to draft a wide receiver, and probably will draft a wide receiver early in the draft again this year, from Charlie Dakota Whiteside, who's been awful. The next guy was DJ Metcalf. Then the next year it was Rhaegar, and the next guy drafted after that was Justin Jefferson, who's ass. Yep. And, then they end up getting Devontae Smith. The jury's out on Devontae Smith, if he's the guy, but they're looking at another receiver now. So, granted, they've got lots of draft picks, and then they go out.
Old Detroit thing, start drafting receivers, and then hopefully you'll
get
a Megatron.
Yeah, but, for me, I'm afraid that's what we're going to do is draft a wide receiver in the first round. I just have that feeling that, that sizzle that sells those jerseys because it's about making money. I still want the lines.
With me, I think if Olavi's there, they're going to take him.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Olavi's there,
I'd be surprised. I'd really be surprised if he's there.
I would be too, to be honest with you, because we're sitting at 24 now. Is this the draft that they do say, okay, well, let's go get him, move up what we need to, and because they've got those.
That would be even worse. Okay, you know what? If he's there 24 and you take him, okay, fine. if you move up and take the second round draft pick that you have to get up there to get him, then that compounds it even worse because now you're, I recorded a video, and here's another little issue. When, for whatever reason, I guess it's because of the cameras or high def or whatever, it takes, longer for it to upload to YouTube. It just takes 10, 15 minutes, and then YouTube takes longer to process it. I was going through because somebody drove me crazy. They kept saying, quit whining about free agency because we can fix the team with the draft. We got 9 picks. It's like, yeah, but 4 of those picks are 5th rounders.
It's like saying, hey, well, don't worry, guys. We have we're down by 9 runs and we got 9 batters, so don't worry. We're gonna catch up here. Like,
Yeah.
Here, let me give you an example where I thought I still had it. Let's see. This is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna say I pulled up the list, of wide receivers that have declared. You look at it, top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting at least 6 of those guys are going to be plucked in the first round.
Could be. But listen, so for everybody who thinks that the draft is going to fix us, 5th round draft picks since the last 10 years. Danny Cole, Joseph Randle. Joseph Randle is actually probably the best one of the draft picks in the 5th round we've had. Devin Street, Ryan Russell, Mike White, although Mike is with the Jets at the moment, Michael Jackson. Basically he beat it. Okay. Joe Jackson. Okay. All right.
You got that one.
Got the dads in the crowd.
And Bradley and I, and then of course the jury's out with Semi. It's the 5th round. Semi is the only hope of the last 10 years of our 5th round picks doing anything for us. So if they can package up any of those 5th round picks and do something else, I'm all for that. Okay.
We got like 4.
We have 4 5th round picks. So yeah, 5th round picks have not been kind to us. It's kind of like 2nd round picks have not been kind to us.
Yeah.
I mean, Diggs and D-Law, that's the list of, Connor Williams was too. Connor Williams, Connor Williams has actually played more games than any of our other ones. But from there,
I don't know. I think Joseph Randle did okay. He held his own until we got DeMarco Murray.
He actually took over for DeMarco Murray. He was behind DeMarco Murray.
I thought DeMarco came after him.
No. Okay. He was there with Darren McFadden.
Oh, that's right. Gotcha.
He actually got the starting nod, and he got injured. Darren McFadden took over, and then, of course, there was the underwear and cologne stealing that he had.
Right.
Yeah, he was the underwear bandit. So
and it was in trouble before. Didn't remember they gave him when he was charged with stealing the underwear, and they gave him he was going to do commercials or something for the advertising.
Something like that. Yeah.
He got
didn't
crazy
work out.
He did stuff,
I think he's locked up right now.
Yeah,
Joseph Randle.
Did he get
he
get
is.
arrested for sexual assault or something?
Something like Yeah.
And he had never been in trouble with the law before, but it all started with the underwear.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, of all things to steal, underwear?
From that shoplifting incident.
No.
He never recovered after that.
He did not. He just went off. He went off the, rails after that.
Quiet Life asks, is cornerback a top need? I'm going to say no because, it would be great if Kellen Joseph, were to become a starter and stepped up. But he didn't play for us last year. And we didn't really, lose cornerbacks, from where we were last year. I'm not going to say cornerback is a high need. I'm not.
I think you're looking probably defensive line, offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, a defensive end maybe, and for me, still, interior defensive line.
That's what I would think too. I don't know. What are they? What are the prospects in the draft?
Well, again, if you're talking about moving up, if I was going to move up, It would only guy I would move up for would be Jordan Davis.
Who was that?
And this
Jordan Davis.
this draft to me, I know Jacksonville says that they're open for business to trade the number one pick. I don't know that there's a consensus number one pick out there that you say, my God, we got to give the farm to get a guy.
I don't know.
Not my sports.
If you're looking at a number one D lineman, I mean, you got that kid out of Michigan. What's his name? Hutchison.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good one. You got Kalen Thibodeau out of Oregon.
But are you saying to move up into the top 5? You know what it costs you?
I know, but if I'm Dallas, no, I'm not going to go up that high.
I don't know that because looking at again, I think this draft is so deep with offensive linemen, defensive linemen, wide receivers, and things that you're better off staying where you are. I just don't see the.
To be honest with you, there, Mark, I'd take either of those Georgia interior linemen, really, Davis or Walker, either one.
Well, that first of all, it would take the Cowboys changing philosophies of, they always look at guys, even interior defensive linemen. They usually look at edge rushers and say, we're going to make you a 3 technique. You know what I mean? They will take, Tyrone Crawford, who was a defensive end, kind of a tweener at best. And, he can also play the 3. Okay, stop doing this crap of, we'll take defensive ends and make them a tackle. I'm sorry, you're not a tackle, you're a defensive end. It's 2 different sets of skills.
And then there's a couple after those 2 Georgia guys. I mean, you got that guy out of SC, what's his name? Jackson, another Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Odabo.
Nice catch.
I would say, there's like 7 or 8 people that could easily be picked on.
I mean, any one of those guys could be a day one starter if you
right. And that's where you look and say, why trade up?
Exactly. Stay put at 24.
Stay put, if anything.
Unless somebody comes along and says, hey, we'll take your 24 pick.
That would be to me, that would be the more prudent thing is because I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm not the draft guy. But between 20 and 32, I don't think that there's that much difference in the players. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't either.
So if I can move back and get me an extra 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick, move back 4 or 5 spots, then
like 4 or 5 of your guys are there, and it's not just one guy. Like definitely, I would.
I mean, hasn't the mentality lately been the best man on?
Best player available,
Best player available. I mean,
but with Micah Parsons, okay. But they saw Micah Parsons. They figured that we can get him, and we moved back. We picked up a 3rd round pick and got Goldston, which I think actually could be a decent player. If the guy that you really want, if you're sure that you can get him and move back, why not?
I say do it. I mean, like you said, we had Parsons sitting there while we were number 9 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the ninth slot.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, let's slide back to let's give that pick to Philadelphia
and got a 3rd,
and get the 3rd. And look at that, our guy was there.
Definitely.
Either way, you're going to play him in the division, so I think it was a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
It was. And who did they end up picking up at number 9? Wasn't that the wide receiver?
Devontae Smith.
And they picked up the receiver.
Devontae Smith, which killed the Giants.
Smith,
the Giants were pissed.
The Giants were sitting there at 10 like, yes, we got our receiver.
Yep.
And you see what they're doing right now with Tooney. They're trying to trade him already.
Why are they giving up so easy on Tooney?
I think it's a personality thing. I think,
New coaching staff.
Do you think Tooney's doesn't fit into that scheme anymore?
I mean, just somehow the way he reacted in some of those games.
Yeah, they said Tony want to leave New York. They said he want to leave.
But why? I mean, if you look at the... I don't know. Has he been injured often?
Well, he was injured. He was injured a little bit last year. I remember that. I remember when he got injured.
Right.
He was out for a few games. That I remember.
And he got kicked out of the game. Yeah, it was.
But still, wait, hold. Let's back up here. You're not getting a number 1 for him, okay?
No, Hell no.
He was
Hell no.
the 12th pick.
But you're definitely not getting a fifth. So I mean,
Well, you're not getting. Well, if they, yeah.
Hey, but Mark, Mark.
No, but I'm just saying, you're giving up on him already after 1 year.
gotta be
You know,
something.
Mark, if the Giants is dumb enough to give us a fifth round, one of our fifths for him, hey, I pull the trigger. I pull the trigger because
I doubt that that's
you know that'll keep us from drafting the wide receiver, and technically he's still a young guy because
Nah,
this
he's
will be his
AFC.
second year.
Well, yeah, he's
And
still on the rookie contract, but maybe the dog just can't hunt.
Yeah, and then plus, who knows? He get in the right system, he may kick butt.
I think he definitely has potential. Definitely has potential.
Yeah, I don't know that the Giants used him as well as they could have.
Jason Garrett was there.
Oh yeah,
For most of it,
obviously.
so.
Garrett's more of the two guy and the running back and tight end.
Well, when I saw him on that USFL, I was just like, man, he's just doing his coaching thing right on the.
Oh my God, he's
on
an
the
idiot.
thing. We're gonna do this. And the guys get together and they. Like, oh my God! You're like, really? And he's not even looking at the camera. He's like looking directly there. Like he's just there's no interaction with the folks.
Yeah, exactly.
The first week it was just weird because it was always kind of the profiles, like he wouldn't look into the camera, you know, and
Hey,
he can still see the.
He's all like, "Hey man, Tom Landry made the silhouette thing work. Maybe I can."
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm sitting
he
here.
doesn't have the fedora. The power of the fedora.
He has the red hair. Watch
And
out.
All right, so Tony he played in 10 games. He started 39 receptions, 420 yards, 10.8 yard average, no TDs, 68%.
Yeah, it sounds
You know,
like they didn't utilize.
Well,
him
they-
to the best.
the Giants didn't utilize anybody passing wise. I mean, the
Well,
Giants.
Let's call it what it is. They don't have an offensive line blocking for him. That's why Jones was injured, and what's his name his backup got injured. I mean, God, you got to have a good defense or offensive line to block you so you can make those passes.
Well, it goes back to, you remember when they signed Brandon Marshall and everybody was like, oh my God,
yeah.
the Giants, man, that offense. Look, you got Brandon Marshall, you've got Odell Beckham, you've got Sterling Shepard. How are you going to stop all those guys, man? I was like, they don't have an offensive line.
Your offensive
It's
line
like
will
Eli's not going to have any time, and Eli was biting the dirt the whole time. So, you know, it was like, okay, yeah, you got all these, stallions that can get down the field. It's kind of like getting Tyreek Hill with Miami. I don't know that Tua can get the ball down the field to him. You know what I mean? Can Tua get the ball to Tyreek Hill if he's 50 yards downfield? I don't think he can.
No, I don't think so either.
And this is my thing with, let's go get another wide receiver. Well, if Dak is on his back because we don't have a guard, and Badish is, in his lap because he gets picked up and just carried right back to the quarterback, it doesn't matter who we have back as wide receivers. You got to protect them.
I already know, but I had to go ahead and just give him something so he could go ahead and get it set up. But I
it sounds like Stacy saying something. All right, so if you look at, I thought you did. Never mind.
I was figuring out who this.
Oh, somebody must be getting yelled at from the background.
Yeah, there you
Somebody has
go.
something to say.
So look at their line, the O line for the Giants. Their last best O line that I can remember, the Super Bowl 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had Will Beatty, Kevin Booth, David Boss, Chris Snee, and David Deal. Boy, was that their best line. I mean, they were protecting Eli like nothing. And
You want to hear something that's funny? I'm actually looking at the Giants stats, and this is actually pretty pathetic because Tooney was their leading receiver
Yeah, he was.
at 420 yards.
How much?
420 yards receiving. He was their
Who was
leading
the next
receiver.
who's the next one?
Evan Ingram at 408. Sterling Shepard at 366. Devarius Slayton, 339. John Ross, 224. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I missed Galladay. Galladay had 521, so he was second.
So Galladay was there.
Galladay was 521, but even at 521, Kyle Rudolph was 257. That's it, guys. So the second leading receiver. You remember? Think about last year when everybody was going, man, look at the receivers that the Giants are getting in free agency. Oh, they got Kyle Rudolph, man. That's going to be great. They didn't bust a grape.
No, I remember that because I was hoping that we got Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph, 257 yards, 26 catches.
They don't utilize the talent. They don't know how to. That's their problem.
Okay, but what talent? Okay, they had Daniel Jones without an offensive line. So, I mean, and Jason Garrett was the offensive coordinator. And Barkley can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They couldn't keep their.
You know what, Mark?
What's that?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Saquon Barkley got traded Thursday night. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think they would love to move on from him. I mean, but how much is somebody going to give up for Barkley?
A ham.
Ham said maybe a potted meat one, Stacy. I like ham. I'm not giving up my ham.
I got that from you, Mark.
That would be a potted meat sandwich for Barkley.
I might give him a small can of sliced olives for Saquon.
Woo!
That's as high as I'm going.
Yeah, it might be a team that needs.
Okay, let's be clear here. Okay, Giant fans don't want to say this because I've been saying for a couple of years he's on the bust bubble.
Yep.
He had 593 yards last year at 3.7 yards a carry.
I just happen to have a can of small sliced olives.
There you go.
Give it to him for Saquon.
But no, seriously, 593 yards, 3.7 yard average.
Was he injured last year as well?
He played in 13 games.
So yeah, he missed 3 due to injury. Then.
But when is he not injured?
His ankle's
That's
full.
the problem. How many of their players suffered injury? How many players lost time? They probably lost what? A total of almost 100 games because of the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to get you anywhere.
So in his career,
even the backups were getting hurt.
Yeah. So here's the thing: his rookie year, he gained 1,307 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,003 yards. His second year, 34 and 20, and 593. I don't know that you're getting a whole lot for him.
At best, you probably get a 6th rounder, maybe a 5th if you're lucky. But you're not getting anything higher than that.
That's right. So I mean, you're just fire selling him.
Yeah.
And this is where you wonder: will there be any more high draft picks for running backs?
No.
But Mark, if you remember, they had asked him, did he want out? They asked him, did he want out of New York, and he said no. He said he wanted to stay there, and I think, he's from New York City, and I think with him being from New York City have a whole lot to do with it.
It could be, but what is his contract like? I mean, I know he's on his rookie.
2 more years, doesn't he?
No, I thought last year was the last year of his contract.
I think. Well, I don't think they took the 5th-year option.
No, I think they're.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I thought they re-signed him, but.
Oh no, they didn't.
No, he's still in on his rookie contract. I think when I said the 2 years, I think I did.
This is his 5th year.
Okay, so yeah. So they picked up his 5th-year option then.
Yeah, but you had to do that before the season of last year, so that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. So this is his last season in New York, if they decide to move on.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see this being his last year there. Regardless of him saying that he want to stay there or not, I think this will be his last year.
Shout out to John Jones.
It makes me wonder if he's another Kajana Carter.
Well, let's see. His cap number for this year is $7.2 million, and if they cut him, it's $7.2 million dead money. So remember
Kajana Carter's story. He had that horrific knee injury in preseason in his second year, was never the same ever.
They both are from Penn State, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
Again,
That's why.
A lot of those guys, they did ACL tears. They weren't the same either.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Jones for the super chat. Appreciate it. And if any of you guys are channel members and you want to join the panel, I see we got Blue Virus up here. He's got his mic muted. Blue Virus, unmute your mic and say hello. How are you? If you are a channel member like Gina Thorne or I Love Weed, if you want to pass, if you want to come over here and puff, pass
that Dutchie.
Go on to the community tab so you can grab the link and click on in and come on through. So Barkley is, $7.2 million. As we look at Zeke Elliott and say, well, he's an $18 million cap hit, I'd say that Zeke is more worthwhile than what Barkley's contract is, right?
Oh, yes.
I would say it's more worthwhile than Christian McCaffrey's. Nobody talks about how bad he's been since he got his contract.
Yeah. If you can get that.
And if you think about it, we ought to be thankful for Ezekiel Elliott, because if we would have had McCaffrey or Barkley, with them being banged up, we ought to be thankful.
Yeah. And this goes back to, so let's go back to the draft then. What's more important for us to get another wide receiver so that we can continue to just sling the rock around like crazy? Or take care of the offensive line so we can try and be a balanced offense?
Get that offensive lineman, because you've got a ton,
a
crap load of ton of draft at wide receiver. You don't have to waste that first round pick on a wide receiver.
Exactly.
You know what? And this draft, I've been saying it all along. This draft is going to be stacked and it's going to be loaded.
Yes.
All these good players that they said that's going to go in the first round, they're not going in the first round because, this draft is going to be loaded. Chuck, all these players that everybody saying is going to go in the first round, they're not going in the first round. Some's going to go in the second, some's going to go in the third. Chuck, I've been watching the draft for over 40 years, and I've seen good players don't get drafted, period.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot of surprises Thursday night.
I had another thought here. Who's this year's Warren Sapp? Remember when he was drafted? He was supposedly going to be the number 1 draft pick, number 2 maybe. Man, he kept sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding until Tampa Bay took him in at number 18, I think it was.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Who's going to be that Warren Sapp? Or better yet, who's going to be that Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers went way down.
Oh, yeah. Because actually the reason why he doesn't like Mike McCarthy was Mike McCarthy thought that Alex Smith was better because he was the offensive coordinator and wanted Alex Smith as opposed to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, being a California guy, wanted to be there in San Francisco.
Yep.
And he never forgot that. So going back to,
still pissed off to this day about that.
You know what kills me is the Cowboys have always been a really good regular season team. When we get to the playoffs, that becomes our problem. I say I don't know what my identity is on offense. I really don't. You can't look and say, here's our bread and butter. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't. Not anymore. The second thing, when I look at what happened against the San Francisco 49ers, when you go through the numbers, people say, well, Dak just sucked. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll give you that one if you want to say that one. But Dak rushed for a touchdown. At least he threw for a touchdown. Tell me what Aaron Rodgers did the next week against the same team against the hurt Jimmy Garoppolo. But, people don't want to talk about that, but that's okay.
Think about it this way, too, Mark.
What's that?
We scored a touchdown more than Green Bay did against that
that's what I'm saying.
Team.
Yeah. But we suck. And Aaron Rodgers is MVP, but be that as it may. When you look at this game, the things that stand out on here was Jimmy Garoppolo only threw for 172 yards, right? The thing that they had, though, was they ran the fudge out of the football. Okay? Eli Mitchell had 96 yards. Deebo Samuels had 72 yards. We couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the run, right?
Yep, it was the run
All
that
right.
killed us in that
And
game.
on the flip side, when I look at the Cowboys, we threw for 256 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. But when you look at running the football, Zeke had 31 yards, 2.6 yards to carry. Tony Pollard had 3.5 yards to carry, 14 yards.
Yeah,
We couldn't stop the run, and we couldn't run the football. And I think back to, times we lost to Green Bay where Aaron Rodgers always has time to throw. Here it is every single time. Aaron Rodgers got 6-7 seconds to go ahead and find somebody open. If you give Aaron Rodgers that kind of time, he will eventually find somebody, any quarterback, if you get it. So what that tells you is our failures in the playoffs are we haven't been able to run the football or stop the run. So what do you do to do that? You've got to look at the defensive line. You can't keep putting a tweener, a defensive end who's about 280 and say he's going to be a tackle that's going to be able to hold up and stop the run. Just doesn't work. You got to get big guys in there. Now, I believe that Neville Gallimore is a good one. I think OC, although he's a little bit light in the ass, he's got great hands and stuff. I think he's going to be good. But if you were able to put in the big guy in the middle to control the middle, to be an eclipse, to keep, Aaron Rodgers and guys from being able to step up or being able to run the football. And then you can say, Micah Parsons, we're going to turn you loose like, Mad Max, the crazy guy. Break the chains and just go in there. You would have a defense that would take the ball away and give your offense short fields. At least in my mind. If you take a cornerback, you still got the same problem. That's all we need to get a corner. Whoa, we're going to have the same problem come playoff time. They're not throwing against us because they can run on us.
Yeah.
So that's my thought. Everybody's got their own opinions, but for me, you got to take care of the lines. We have got to be able to run for more than 50 yards with our running backs. You can't expect your quarterback to be able to win you games in the playoffs with 50 yards running.
Agree.
Who's the top offensive lineman so far in the draft? I haven't heard.
I think it's a matter of opinion, really.
See, that's what I was saying a while ago. This draft Thursday is going to be unpredictable. We don't know what's going on. We don't.
So Super TV, welcome, buddy. Unmute your mic, man.
If you ask me, the top offensive lineman is Evan Neal of Alabama.
Well, see, and this goes back to my thing. I don't know that you look here and say that's the guy that you got to get. That there's so many really good guys, potential prospects, but there's not any of these consensus guys. You have to say, other than for me, Jordan Davis. But and I know I'm making people sick. Oh my God. No. No, Hawk. No. Are you kidding me? You stop smoking?
Uh-oh. The end of the world.
Oh, my God. The next thing you're going to tell me is that Stephen Jones is going to sign a big-name free agent.
The thing I'm having fun with these pre-draft.
Oh, no. Okay. He said tomorrow. He said today's my last day. Tomorrow. I thought you were saying you already stopped 6 days ago.
You know what's funny?
Oh, shit.
Some of these,
you faked me out there, Hawk.
Oh, there you go. What's funny is reading some of these pre-draft, Bell Kuipers and
oh man, screw those guys.
The thing that I think I see in common with all of them, they're saying, yeah, Tyler Linderbaum is going to be there for you guys. You should take him. I'm like, really? I know we need a center, but we don't need a center that bad.
Well,
enough to move up, but enough to stay there. I would say.
I don't know about that bad.
You know my philosophy here. Okay, my philosophy is this. The Cowboys always draft tackles and try and make them guards. Yeah. Problem with tackles is tackles are a premium player. By the time we get around, the top 3 or 4 of them definitely will be gone, if not more than that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Edge rushers. Premium on those. You're going to lose a lot of edge rushers by the time the Cowboys get up. wide receivers. By the time you get to us, if it's a wide receiver, probably even a quarterback will probably be maybe 2 or 3 will be drafted before us. Not that we need a quarterback, although we know some of the haters out there will say, yeah, we got to grab a quarterback to replace whack-ass Dak is what they'll say. But there's positions that people don't look at as a premium position. Are you better off getting the fifth best tackle? What? Are you better off getting the 5th best prospect at tackle or the top prospect at guard?
Probably that guard.
That would be the wise thing, but the Cowboys, that's not what they do. They take a tackle and say, you're going to be a guard.
Yeah.
In the same way they say, oh, well, we'll get an edge rusher and we'll make him a tackle. Why not take the tackle? Because that defensive tackle isn't a premium like an edge rusher. You're taking a premium position and saying, okay, we need you to now switch and become a tackle. Well, why not just get the tackle? You'd get a better chance of getting a better tackle than it would be converting a defensive end. You can't look at any of the guys that we've done that with and say they've been a great defensive lineman. What's the best defensive lineman we've had? I can't think, other than Jay Ratcliffe? How many defensive tackles have we looked at lately and said, yeah, they were a great tackle for us?
Not very many.
Not in a while. You make a good point.
Not drafted. I'm definitely not drafted.
Drafted or not drafted? I mean, Malik Collins was serviceable.
Like Leroy Glover. I mean, that was
okay, Leroy Glover. Okay, but how long was?
Glover, yeah.
But how long ago was that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. Most.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That was back in the early millennium when that
exactly.
happened.
So over the last 10 years,
the Garrett thing of switching people a lot too. So I mean, hopefully
it drives you crazy.
Coaching thing change. You're hoping that with Will McClay, more drafting towards.
Shout out to Howard Floyd. What's up, Howard?
That changes, but of course they're still doing the swing things. I mean, they were doing musical chairs all last year, and it sucked.
Yeah. Well, you're right. Like Keanu O'Neal, he's a safety. Well, you're going to be a linebacker.
But even when you found your staple, I mean, when you found Steele there right next to Martin, I mean, to just leave it alone, dude. Like,
right.
If you have the antenna of the TV going and you in the old days and you got this signal, why the heck were you going to move the antenna again? It's tuned in, like freaking let it go.
Yeah. And you know what? I with the Terrence Steele was playing great at right tackle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand Tyron Smith went down and all that, so it's like, oh, we'll take them. And they literally screwed up everything because I honestly don't think Collins played very good at all last year. I'm happy for him that he got a job in Cincinnati, but I think he is.
As a bodyguard, good for him.
I mean, I think he's going downhill. Now,
he is.
I would have, it would have been better off making him the guard.
This is the first time I've actually seen him walking away from somebody a year or two early, kind of like a Belichick type of move where, that one was pretty good. I mean, it sucks to lose a guy like that, but I mean, you are walking probably away from him a year or two early. So,
yeah.
Mark, you know how I feel about that situation.
Which one?
About Lyle Collins.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it?
Like I told you, I even told Law Nation when I was in Dallas. They need to move Lyle Collins
to guard.
I told Law Nation that on his YouTube show when I was down in Dallas back in November of last year. I told him that if they would have done that, Lyle Collins would still be in Dallas to this day.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I agree.
I got a quick question. All right. So, since Tyron Smith always gets hurt, and we do bad without him.
Yeah.
Man, since we drafted him, I guess. I don't know. When do we draft his replacement?
Number 24.
But here's the problem. Going into the offseason, I said you had to get rid of one or the other. You had to either say, I believe that Tyron Smith is going to be able to play, and which he hasn't been able to, or you got to get rid of Lyle Collins. You couldn't afford both of them.
One more year, but it's divided amongst 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
One whole single season, but it's like
What I'm hoping that they get the guard. Okay, I mean, otherwise, it could be, or
next year, get it.
You've got Connor McGovern, who can't seem to get to the second level. Maybe he gets better this offseason. I don't know.
Why we have
But
so much faith in people that aren't good? I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, I mean,
We're like, they're gonna get good.
well, Josh Ball, what is he? That's the question. What is Josh Ball? A guy that just gets injured every season going in? Is he like a Tyrone Smith? What is he a good backup? Could he slide in there? There's so many questions there that I think that's what a lot of them is just, what could he be? So many potentials along the line.
There's two guards that I've been kind of looking at, through pre-draft. Iquanu, I think is his last name, and then out of North Carolina State, and then you have Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M.
That's what I'm saying. When I look at, I would say I don't.
He's top 5.
Yeah, I would say I don't study those guys like Cross, Charles Cross. I love the guy, but like if you pick those guys automatically, but those guys aren't dropping. Those guys are going to be up there.
Yeah.
The lineman I've really been looking at is Trevor Penning of Northern Iowa.
Flozo dude.
Yeah, he could fit in. He could be a day one starter.
See, yeah, he could be a great replacement for Smith and make Smith the swing tackle.
He's a left tackle. You know what? I've been saying it all along. I said, man, Trevor Penning, man, he can be that perfect guy that can replace Tyron Smith when Tyron Smith hang it up.
And I think that's a great spot if you're for example, like Green is off the board, Lindenbaum's off the board, all of a sudden Zion Johnson, these guys, Devin Lloyd off the board, your receivers are off the board, these scenarios that could possibly play out because these other guys are going to pick players too. And Philly loves to pick players to spite us, which has never worked out for them.
Yeah.
If they see us, they're going to probably, let's go for the lineman over here. And
what about that kid out of Kentucky, Kennard?
Are you talking about the defensive end? Or are you talking about the Pascal?
No, the tackle. The tackle from Kentucky.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, Troy Daniels. I know who you're talking about. The Kennard guy.
Yes.
When I live in SEC country, man, and I watch all the SEC teams play every Saturday. I know who you're talking about.
I think he could be a day one starter.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. He's a quiet beast.
So yeah, any one of these guys that we've talked or mentioned so far, any one of them could be a day one starter for the O-line.
And that's the problem. That's the problem is that a lot of them could be the starter on our offensive line, and that's what kind of shows that we need to prove that hey, we need to draft an offensive line.
We could draft all 5 of them and they can start.
Yeah, let's make all our starters back up.
Take that back. 4.
Okay,
yeah,
4
Martin's
of the 5.
got to stay in there. Martin's got to.
That's right. We got to leave
Martin got to stay in there. He gets a pass.
Okay. Yeah, well, we got to do something now. Of course, there is bargain basement time. The value picks, and it may be the Cowboys are looking at saying, well, we lost Randy Gregory, we lost Cedric Wilson. At least if we can make sure we don't lose compensatory picks, then at least we got something, And so
that was a great theory. I think that was a good one, Mark. I think that was a good. Yeah,
I mean, that's all. Okay, I'm trying to toss them a bone.
That makes sense. That does actually make a lot of sense when I heard that.
I think we probably get a 4th and a 5th. I mean, not that that's a game changer, although hell, we only got a 5th for Amari Cooper, so that's getting at least as much compensation as we got for getting rid of Amari Cooper. But if they sign guys, of course, after that day, I can't remember what the exact date is. It's early May. Then it doesn't count against losing the compensatory picks. And as we were just pointing out to what the Giants got, with their receivers and stuff and free agency, sometimes maybe these players that you sign, I mean, think about like Washington getting Landon Collins or getting Josh Norman. Did those guys make those teams markedly better with the money that they spent for them? No. You look at Galladay and like you were talking about Kyle Rudolph. That didn't make the Giants any better.
I'm curious to find out, why hasn't Tretter been signed yet?
I'm sorry, who?
Is it J.C. Tretter or Trotter? Tretter from
He
Cleveland.
I don't know.
He has an injury history.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, a lot of the owners fear that if they sign him, it's going to be a problem because he's the top dog on of the NFL players union.
Okay.
That could be. Yeah.
Well, the
I
Honey
think you might
Badger
be
still
right.
hasn't signed yet. Remember, 2 weeks ago, the Eagles were like, "It's about to be. It's done. It's done. He's signing
It's
this
a done
weekend."
deal, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm old enough to remember that didn't happen.
There's still some good free agents out there. It's going to be
There are.
interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who drops after, not to mention after the draft. A lot of these teams are going to be dropping players again soon.
Because they got somebody that they didn't think they were going to, get.
Exactly.
And so that's where you look at it and say, okay, maybe the Cowboys have something here with the money that they have because they'll get the $10 million from Lyle Collins. You've got 15.9 right now. So now you got $26 million right there. And if you do happen to get Dalton Schultz's contract done, you can probably save some money there. So you could potentially say, all right, now we're going to go out here and we're going to sign some guys and do some damage.
Yeah. So,
Mark, I just got this crazy feeling. I may be wrong, but it's a crazy guess. I just got this crazy hunch that we're going to pick up Anthony Barr. I really do.
You think so?
Linebacker from Minnesota.
Is he a free agent?
Yeah, he's still a free agent. Yeah.
He's out there.
How old is he?
He's what, 29, 30?
I think he's something like 27 or 28.
27 to 30. Oh, he's kind of old. We need somebody young. My age.
This is for Hawk.
On a 2-year deal.
Here, I'll give you his. He is.
There you go, Hawk.
He's 30. Yeah, I thought I had it. He's 30 years old.
Hawk still believes that the Washington football team with Carson Wentz are going to be scary.
Yeah, well, my whole thing, really, I mean,
my whole thing, really.
I'm more like threatened by the name change than I am the quarterback. Like, come on now, like, it's ridiculous.
Well, Ron Rivera believes that he is more than just a stopgap quarterback. That he could be,
It's understandable. I mean, Ron Rivera went for every other quarterback in the NFL before he went for his non-stop quarterback. Whatever.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Carson Wentz.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He will put some numbers up. He'll do his thing. He'll there. He'll give people enough to talk about, and then that's it.
I agree with Primetime Phil. He'll put some stats up, but there's a but in everything. But
what kind of stats will they be? Right?
Something's wrong with your Stacy. Something's wrong with your mic. We don't
hardly hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
I heard you that time.
Okay.
Primetime.
Hey, what comes out of butts, Thomas?
But he have his moments. He have his moments, and that's his problem.
Yeah, but here's his problem this year with Washington. We were saying it about the Giants. They don't have an offensive line for him.
That's right.
He's going to end up spending most of that season on his butt, claiming that he's got an injury, and then he'll be gone.
Eventually he will have an injury, so he will be right eventually. So.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
After Michael Parsons.
I do not see, especially if Dallas can put together an outstanding defensive line and go after him. I mean, you got what? Micah Parsons. You got D-Law.
D-Law.
Who else we got? Armstrong. Flowers.
OC. Neville Gallimore. Okay.
Gallimore.
So many number changes, too. I think that's what's going to be the throw-off in the beginning.
If you can keep those guys healthy,
we
have the potential to have a great defensive line this year.
Yeah.
Keep those guys healthy, rotate them in and out fresh. You don't have to play them, all whatever series, all series long. Rotate them out. We've got enough that we could do that.
Here's what I want you to think about.
Led by committee.
When it comes to Washington, okay, now think about this. Ryan Fitzpatrick, survived some of the worst teams in the NFL. He was basically, I'm the sacrificial lamb for the guy who's going to be the starter as his team gets better. So he survived a couple of years with the Rams, the Bengals, the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, the Jets, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, and he couldn't get out of game one in Washington.
He ran out of Fitzmagic.
I mean, seriously, I'm beginning to wonder, is he literally in, witness protection? I haven't even heard anything about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Is he done? Has he literally just disappeared off the face of the earth?
I didn't know he'd been to that many different teams.
Yeah. He's
been through a lot of teams.
He's started, I want to say he started as a quarterback on more teams than any other quarterback.
Yep.
Mark, the last time I heard from Ryan Fitzpatrick, he was at the game in Buffalo when they beat New England. That's the last time I heard him.
Well, I'm glad he's still alive. but seriously, Washington is literally where quarterbacks' careers go to end.
They do.
Hey,
Mark, you took the words out of my mouth because I was getting ready to say Carson Wentz.
You're in trouble.
You're going to go to Washington and die.
That's it. I'm serious. If we believe that Carson Wentz, a guy who's always injured. Remember, he hurt first day of practice in training camp. He hurt his foot in a non-contact drill.
Yep.
Fractured his foot.
Hey, he's fragile.
And you're going to go to Washington, a place that literally quarterbacks. I mean, Alex Smith was never a great quarterback. He was a very good one.
He was.
But he stayed healthy. Look what happened to his leg.
That's creepy what happened to his leg. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, when I saw that play. Oh.
Well, just the timing, the Monday night thing, everything, everything about it is just creepy.
Well, look at who else had that.
Marley Greens. Shout out to Marley Greens.
I was in AT&T Stadium on my stadium tour when we found out that he had broke his leg because we was walking around the stadium and everything, and some lady had approached us and said, "Y'all not gonna believe what I'm about ready to tell you." And we was like, "What?" And she said, "Alex Smith just broke his leg," and I was, we was like, "All hell." That was all we said was all hell. It wasn't no cheering. It wasn't no,
ain't got nothing Cowboys on. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
It was, it was a surprise because it caught all of us off guard. It did.
I love it. Hawk says, Mark, look what Carson Wentz did in college. That wasn't like the Southeast Conference, right? You know that, right? Okay. Just checking.
Not to mention it's not college, so.
Yeah, it's not college, right? On top of that. But for some reason, Hawk is just like, maybe it's the weed. He's just paranoid. The weed has made him paranoid of Carson Wentz.
He's still recovering from 420.
There you go.
It's that killer.
That's the only thing I can think of because it's kind of like he is truly scared of him.
Hey, another quarterback that got his leg busted in Washington that ended his career.
Theismann.
Joey Theismann.
Well,
yeah.
I'm saying that's the part, the timing in between those two, the Monday night exact same
Monday nights almost
the left tackle is what got passed. Everything was just so creepy.
I don't want to wish bad feelings on Carson, but I tell you, if he lasts a couple of years in Washington, that's coming.
I agree with you on that. If he makes it 1 year, you have to say, wow, okay. I mean, bad things happen to Washington quarterbacks. I've got the New Orleans Tampa Bay game on here, and I'm looking at the stands where there can't be 150 people in the stands.
Yeah.
I don't know how this league is going to be able to make it.
Well, I mean, are they selling the tickets? I mean, you can give the tickets away. Go ahead, Stacey.
Pretty much.
Mark.
Yes.
Well, would you want to watch that? Would you want to go see that?
Well, in being all in one city.
Oh, that's what it is. That's right.
Yeah,
it's all in one city. So, I mean, one way you look at it, well, at least we're not paying traveling expenses and having to rent out all these different stadiums. But if you only have 150 people in the stands, I mean, how many people are really watching on I mean, I'm watching because I'm down here right now. And, you know, and it's kind of like, it's like, how can you become like a fan of a city when they play all in Alabama? Yeah, we've got a team in New Orleans, but they don't ever play in New Orleans.
I think next year the plan is to have the teams go back to their cities and play there. They're just using this as a they want to use this.
And
these
are probably not even fans. These are probably like family members of the production people that are there. Like it just
right.
Even...
But how are they going to survive to that point?
Well, they're not playing the players aren't making crap.
They're not paying players.
I think they probably budgeted in to have it like that this year because they already have the expansion of next year. You know, they kind of have everything kind of in plan, but
I think they were planning to expand into what 4 markets next year.
Yeah, I would say 12 teams total next year.
I will be honest. I had been to some LFL games that have had more fans than this in it.
Hey, right?
Okay. The Lingerie Football League, okay, that literally had more fans in it than this.
Hey, our high school football team drew in more than these guys are.
I mean, seriously. I mean, you know, I used to go to see the Baltimore Charm, you know, and so I went to 2 of those games because it was the off season and it was something different to do. Literally, and the worst thing is that the shots, I guess there's no way to take pictures of the field without seeing the stands. When you see the center field 50-yard line and there's nobody sitting at 50-yard line, that's a problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I give it maybe 3-4 years.
I don't give it that long.
Not even.
Two.
I think they'll give it 3 or 4 because they've got enough money to go that far.
We got this first year a freebie, and then next year.
I don't know.
Well, the fact that the NFL is putting it on their websites here, there as like plays and stuff, that probably will help it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe a springboard to not have to go to college and be able to show yourself to go to the pros. Maybe that might be another thing that might help it. Mm-hmm. So there's just some stuff there, but I mean, I'm just really surprised when I see the leagues pop up. It's like, I'm kind of surprised there's no minor league team, kind of like the NBA does, but with the NFL. I mean,
like
really
a G League. Yeah, like a G League.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to have something like that for the NFL. Then they could develop their players, bring them
up.
Well,
in a way, I think that's part of the reason why the NFL was because they're doing some testing and stuff and some different rules and different technologies. I know they're supposed to be putting like a microchip in the football so they can tell whether or not
I like the referee cam thing that they got going.
Here's one of the things that I don't seem to understand why the NFL does not do. Why is it they don't have a headpiece that literally has the clock with a buzzer on it?
Huh?
For the game clock.
Right.
Why don't we have a buzzer that goes off in one of the officials' ears so that way you don't have to look at the clock? Okay.
Right. Because
that'd be nice.
I have seen so many teams when they line up, the 24-second clock just goes off. It happens, you know,
more times than people realize.
Yeah, the teams take it all the way down.
I don't, you know, Mark, I don't know if y'all remember, but when we played San Francisco in the playoffs, it happened to us in the third quarter.
Yeah.
It was third down. It was third down.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have called it delay of game penalty,
stops them.
San Francisco would have punted and they got a first down on that play.
Mm-hmm.
On that play.
Yeah, and to me that's an easy fix. I'm sorry, that's one of the easy that should never be a missed call.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay. I mean, I can understand if you're saying that you got to have a microchip in the football to tell if it went past the first, because, you know, where's the chip at? You know, if the chip's in the front of the football and I'm holding back here, technically I could see the logistics problem of doing that with the football. But a buzzer in the ear, that seems like the easiest one to make sure that call is never made.
I'd like to see him maybe put like a laser, you know, kind of like what you use in your studs, trying to find your studs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Use a laser from that sideline to this sideline. If that ball is any part of that ball touches that laser,
Yeah.
first down.
And that's what they're talking about doing is they're experimenting in here with having a chip that's inside of the football, so that way they can be able to find the football and locate it and really be able to see where it actually is.
I think that's a great idea.
Well,
it makes sense. It makes sense.
You know, you've got that.
Yeah.
It makes too much sense.
Mark, you mentioned that problem that they'd have too. Where are you going to put the chip?
Yeah, right. And then that's the problem. But at least if you have a chip that's in here, or maybe you end up having a couple of them in there. You have it nose to nose, side to side, in each of the corners. If that's the case, if there's one on each of the points around there and on that end, you're going to be a lot more accurate than some of these calls where you look at the eyes. Now, of course, the problem is of course, where's the knee? Then that adds the other part. Yeah, you can follow the ball, but can you actually see? It's kind of like when Dak Prescott put the ball over the line, and they were like, well, he was down.
Well, his knee was down.
It's like, but then the next week there was another game where it was like the exact same thing, but
he ended up fumbling.
Yeah, so who knows?
The ball had actually crossed the goal line, and
Hawk says
no, sorry, it's a fumble, first down.
Hawk, you say it's expensive, but when we're talking about multi-billion-dollar business, sorry,
See, I see the switching of the balls as the problem. It's like, okay, you have this ball, it's working, it's registered, this on the sideline, it gets switched over, this one got to come in, it has to be registered, it has to be swapped in their whole data. There's something there.
I don't know though. Have you ever been to Top Golf?
Dude, have you man?
No. When you go to Top Golf, where you get the bucket of balls and you're hitting the balls out there and it's reading exactly where it's going.
What happens when it's raining and it's just a lot of stuff.
Nah, man. Look, if they can do that with a bucket of golf balls and know exactly how far and which, to give me the points and stuff, you're going to tell me the NFL can't do that with 6 or 7 footballs?
I've been preaching this whole put something in the ball to get it because look, I say this as jokingly, but you had Dak last year sticking his feet out of the end zone like the Wicked Witch of the West, just under the house. It's just and no touchdown. It's just I'm like, where's this change? You
got all this technology. We should be able to do something like that.
And even if something as simple as putting cameras on the top part of the stadium down in the angle of the actual line, something as simple as that is something better than what they have.
They've got tons and tons of cameras.
And all the defensive line does is just stand there, and then now nobody can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you remember, same thing happened to Dak twice last year because we all know he scored against Philadelphia in the Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that he scored in the New England game.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to do something.
Yeah. Well, they don't because it's the Cowboys. When the Buffalo Bills get shafted in the playoffs, they change the rules. Right? Because they didn't get a chance to get the ball. Okay, let's change the rules so that way. Cowboys get shafted. Oh, well.
Yep.
Oh, they'll apologize. No, they apologize.
Why they lost.
Yeah. Hawk, are you trying to make sure you smoke up everything before tomorrow? I see you say that you're about as high as can be. Is the reason why you're quitting tomorrow because you smoked up everything today? We kid because we love, man. We kid because we love.
Is it a job opportunity?
Puff, that's okay. Thank you. I'm glad we can boot. Oh, okay, I'm just sorry reading a couple of comments
what kind
here.
of coverage you have on draft day, Mark?
I'm gonna be here. I think David Wiley's gonna be here doing some cooking. I think E2 Blue will be here.
We gotta hear that. Where did we get a wide receiver?
Well, I'm not sure. He last year broke Rashid. Last year, I think, was finally where he just kind of gave up on. He didn't show up the last few games. Rashid used to always be that guy that was always going to be touting his team.
This is a new season with 2 picks there. That's doubled the possibility of
I'm trying to convince him to come, but I think he's just kind of like he's just like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Fan? Is that what you're gonna tell me?
No, I don't think it's that bad yet. But
it's probably getting that.
We'll definitely have our feet We'll end up having, of course, the Zoom in call, so you guys will be able to call in and give us your thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be, but the Giants have 2 picks in the top 5?
Yeah,
Top 5.
Yeah.
It was a 5 and a 7, I want to say.
Or something,
Top
or
5
top
or
10.
top 10.
Yeah, they've got 2 picks, and they're close to each other. So I'm not sure if Rashid's going to come or not. Pizzle says he's not going to be live. He doesn't want to go viral. Philly 500 will be out there, so we'll have that Cam. We'll have Rio. Rio, actually, he's not going to have season tickets at FedEx this year. So he's like, I'm going to be at your house, Dad. I'm like,
Probably bringing over his laundry, so watch out, man.
Hey, make
Like,
them bring
damn.
something. Don't just let them come for free.
I'm serious, man. Well, but if we of course, that's live entertainment, okay? Because we can laugh at him and the Washington football team. We can get shits and giggles out of it. Yeah, the Washington Commanders. Oh, God. That is the worst. I'm sorry. That name is the worst.
I could have seen them going with the Washington Admirals or something.
Hey, the football team sound better than that.
I agree with you on that one.
Honestly, yeah.
I agree with you on that one. But hey, I'm glad it's not the Cowboys, that we don't have their problems.
Oh, hey, I'm glad that our original owner took Mr. What's his name from Marshall? Was it Marshall that owned the Redskins at the time?
Preston Marshall,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm glad he took that war song hostage so we could get our
So
team
the
in there.
Cowboys could come to existence, yes.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Well, I finally got my shot glass. You see me?
Oh, there you go. All right.
Man.
Hopefully we won't need to be drinking too much this season.
Oh,
Like a celebration?
Well, okay. All right. I'm gonna try and moderate this year. Last year was rough. Last year was rough. I drank too much and put on too many pounds.
It was. That's amen right there. That was a roller coaster.
It was.
I had so much hope.
I mean, let's be. You know what? After the year before, it wasn't as bad a season this week. It could have been.
Right.
Could
have been worse.
Okay.
Bad.
Was our season worse than Green Bay's?
No,
Seriously.
I think we only finished 2 games behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it. Did they win a Super Bowl? No. Did they win?
Exactly.
All right.
So, I mean, if you're mad as a Cowboy fan, then Green Bay Packer fans should be mad then too. Because they didn't do anything more than we did.
I'm pretty sure they're even more because they lost their star receiver as well. So it's like too many similarities there.
And as everybody, let's go back here too. As everybody talks about how bad the Cowboys, got, well, didn't Green Bay get worse?
They did.
Right?
They got worse because
Isn't San Francisco about to get worse?
Debo Sandos going out? Yeah.
Yeah, Debo wants out of there.
There was a video of him at a bar or a club last night, and they had the sign up there saying Debo's going to stay, and he's like, nope, I'm out of here. So, yeah, didn't San Francisco get worse? And do we think that Tampa Bay isn't a year older? Do we think Tampa Bay got better? Gronk probably isn't coming back.
Nope.
So
As much as Brady wants him back, I don't think Gronk's going to come back.
So I don't know that. I mean, the Rams were good this year, but they could still have the Super Bowl hangover. I don't know that there's a super team.
No,
in the NFC.
What you trying to say?
Rams got better.
Huh? I didn't say it was our year because we still have Stephen Jones, Cat Boy. But I can't say that if we were in the AFC, I would say we're in trouble. The AFC has all the juggernauts.
Yeah.
Let them bang up on each other before they get to it.
Yeah. And that's at least a good thing about the AFC West. I mean, the NFC West is, you got the Cardinals, the 49ers, and the Rams. They're going to beat up on each other.
Well, that's the nice thing about all these problems with the contracts and everything is that all these NFC teams keep sending their stars over to the AFC.
Right. The AFC is loaded. I would not, when you think that Derek Carr, who just got his big deal, he's the worst quarterback in that division. Seriously. Yep. He's the worst quarterback in that division. I mean, you got Russell Wilson, you've got Justin Herbert, and you got Pat Mahomes. That is crazy. That's insane. Nobody has quarterback play like that. Most divisions you might have one good one. If that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the NFC North. You've got, Aaron Rodgers. You can say Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, but other than that, there ain't no other quarterbacks. Our division, you got Dak, and then, I guess you could say Carson Wentz, but I'm not even sure you can say that with Carson Wentz.
First half of the season, yes, definitely Carson Wentz.
You could say the AFC North. You've got, of course, Josh Allen, and I guess, damn, I can't think of it. Mac Jones.
Mac Jones over in
I mean, that's okay. You got two, but Mac Jones is really kind of a system quarterback that benefits from having, being part of Bill Belichick. I'm not going to say he's a great quarterback that's going to win a whole bunch of games on his own.
Yeah, and then plus you got to figure that there was no film on Mac Jones.
Right. So sophomore slump coming up.
Sophomore slump is coming up. So all you Mac Jones fans who was riding on his sack.
Mm-hmm. Be prepared this year. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there was a sorry quarterback for the Cowboys.
Who's that?
Drew Henson. Remember him?
We had our share. We had our Washington period there for a while with the Drew Hensons, the Ryan Leaf, Anthony Carter, the Anthony Hutch. We see a lot of Cowboy fans as they keep talking about how much Dak sucks and thinks that you can just throw him away and grab somebody else. You must not have been around during those times of after Troy Aikman.
Oh,
because we went through Bernie Kosar and we went through a lot of mother humpers that were bad.
Randall Cunningham.
Mark, when it come to quarterbacks, that was like the Great Depression.
That was, yeah.
Quarterback.
Yeah, we got spoiled getting Romo and then Dak right after it. Just to go, you look at a Washington team that has gone from Donovan McNabb to RG3 and Kirk Cousins and then the whole alphabet soup.
I think if Dak is not there, how long do we stick with Romo? He comes back.
Exactly. The thing with Romo was he couldn't hold up.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the thing we would have gave up.
Look, if you look at it, Washington, since Joe Theismann, they have not had that consistency at quarterback. They've been trying to find.
No, they won the Super Bowl with
Rippon.
Yeah, Mark Rippon. Rippon had that great year.
Yeah, but he was only there 4 years, 5 years?
What, Mark Rippon or Doug Williams? Doug Williams was there only a couple of years.
Yeah. Like I said, they didn't have
that was the tail end of his career. And that was one of those guys that you would have wondered if he had like, say, a Bill Walsh coaching him in an offensive line, what he might have been.
And see, we were
Crazy Corvette said, "Yeah, it could have been Paxton Lynch."
Exactly. When when Parcells went with Romo over Bledsoe that in the second half, since then we have not looked back.
No,
because we had Romo go all those years, and then we had Dak Prescott in the wings, ready to go. He's transitioned. This is his 6th year this year?
Yeah.
This will be his 6th year.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other team in the NFC East that has had that
stability
like we have had since
the Eagles did with Donovan McNabb for a number of years, and after Donovan McNabb, it's been a hodgepodge of different guys.
Giants.
The Giants had Eli, which was consistent.
Yeah.
Outside of Eli, they haven't been very consistent.
Stacy, what do you think? Who do you think?
Well, I agree with what you're saying about the quarterbacks. Thank God we went from Romo to Dak. And everyone who's sitting back here making all the negative comments.
Yeah.
First of all, as Mark stated in the past, they could never play in the NFL, that we don't know everything that those guys go through just to get on the field for our entertainment. So I think that Dak fell into our laps, and thank goodness that he did. And I think that the coaches have failed us. And I may be wrong, but I still feel that Dak was his best under the tutelage. When Romo was there, he helped him. But also,
I'm actually going to say butt fumble really worked with him more.
Mark Sanchez
really worked with him. I'm not going to say anything bad about Romo, but it was really butt fumble that was there.
What was the coach that helped him? The quarterback's coach. He played
Wilson.
For us.
Are you talking about our guy now, Moore? Aren't you talking about?
No, heck no.
Wilson.
Who?
Wade Wilson. Wade
Wilson.
The guy who's a football coach now at the high school.
Oh, you're talking about
John Kitna.
John Kitna, yeah. That was the one that actually I thought that they should have kept him. He was a great quarterbacks coach.
To me, he did his best up under Kitna.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
what do you think about our backup?
They know where he needs help, and hopefully, I'm hoping that McCarthy will take over the reins instead of just sitting back in the cut, watching things unfold. None of us should have been shocked about what happened in that playoff game. It was not like it was something we had not seen for the last half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that, everyone, like I said, the coaches, everything we've gone through all these years, yes, it has been some of the players, but a heck of a lot of it was coaching as well. A heck of a lot was coaching. And this ism does not work. And Dak was doing just fine with Kitna, but of course when McCarthy came in, he wanted to bring his own people, and sometimes that's not good. But that's just my opinion.
Eddie, what's up, Eddie B? How are you doing? I'm really sick and tired of hearing about how bad McCarthy is. I mean, he's a much better coach than him. I was a much better coach than him. Sincerely, your coach, Jason Garrett. Hostile takeover. Come on, Eddie. Long time no see, cuz. Here's the thing, Stacey. You brought up a great point that we were lucky to go from Romo to Dak because, quite frankly, you think about some of the guys that they've wanted for quarterback. Remember, they wanted Johnny Manziel and Paxton Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine?
They didn't draft Manziel.
When they drafted Dak, they didn't say, "Oh, Dak Prescott, he's going to be our franchise quarterback." They said, "Okay, we need a backup. The guys we really wanted are gone, and so we'll just take him." They lucked out in him in the same way they lucked out, with Sean Payton, of course, holding on to Tony Romo and being able to coach him up. This wasn't their picks of guys that they said they're the guys. Yeah.
Luckily, Denver beat us to the punch because if you remember in that draft, Denver was in front of us.
Yep.
And they took Paxton Lynch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I think, the Cowboys were in the process of trading for him. I think Denver, it was 2 picks that they were giving. I think the second pick that Denver had was a second and ours was a third, and they went with Denver. So we came close to drafting Paxton Lynch.
I think Denver came up to get Paxton before us.
That's what I was
No, well, we were in the process of trading up to get back in there for him.
We were trying.
And it was between us and Denver. Denver won or lost, whichever way you want to look at it.
I think Denver ended up trading into that position ahead of us to get Paxton.
Thank goodness.
If I remember.
Because they switched up with somebody. I forgot who it was. They switched up with somebody to get Paxton Lynch.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And then we ended up taking Dak.
So who's going to be the backup, guys?
Who's it going to be this year? Huh?
No, is this the year Danucci does his thing?
Yeah.
if Danucci ever comes back.
I don't care what nobody says. I still think they should get that guy from Western Kentucky.
Which one?
The guy that broke all of Joe Burrow's college records. And nobody heard from him.
I don't know anything about college.
I saw him play last year, and he was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he would be a good backup for Dak if they want to go that route.
The only time I ever saw him was the year before when Western Kentucky came here to play BYU.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Bailey. That be
yeah.
We'll hold on to Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, he had the one game. He played really well. He's not going anywhere. And Ben DiNucci, Mike McCarthy loves him, so he'll still be on the roster.
He'll be on the practice squad.
Yeah.
I just hope we have Dak for a long time, like we did with Aikman and.
Well,
and
I don't know because
Staubach.
you heard what Mark said. We see what the future holds as in reference
Contract.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, Bailey
now.
Zappi. That's his name, Bailey Zappi.
I'm not very optimistic about Steven running the show. So
I mean, and you see the new way of building a team now is why go ahead and take 2 or 3 number ones, move up and gamble on trying to get a quarterback. Why don't I take those 2 or 3 number ones, build my team, and then go out there and trade for one that we know fits their system and can play?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because the problem with going up and getting a quarterback now is, okay, he's got a learning curve, and you hope that you have enough pieces around that he doesn't get the crap beat out of him or gets gun shy and he gets ruined.
This offense doesn't right now.
Yeah. And so am I better off doing that and getting, I have no offensive line and have to take a couple of years to build the team around him? Or do I go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to get me a great, left tackle. I'm going to get me a good defense, and I'll go out and get one. Because, here's where we'll truly be able to prove it. With Cleveland. Cleveland's got a great team. They could run the football. They got a great defense. And now they get Watson out there, and, of course, they get a good receiver dirt cheap. If they go through and they play really, really well, then you look at it and say, yeah, this is the way to do it. It worked for the Rams, getting Matthew Stafford. It worked for Tampa Bay, getting Tom Brady.
And the thing about the draft, too, is if you move up to get that quarterback, there's no guarantee they're going to be around 4 or 5 years later.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And that's there's no – or that they can play.
They may start hot, but then that there'll be that one injury that does them in, or their confidence is shaken somehow. The coach is like, "Okay, you threw 4 interceptions in this game. I'm benching you. Get your butt out of there." And
Mark,
yes, ma'am.
There's a lot of things.
I'm just, your last few videos over the past week. I don't know. I can't get in the happy mode like I normally do. I'm just with Stephen Jones running the show. I've lost my passion. You know what I'm saying?
It's been hard.
And I can just from your body, your facial expressions, your body language. It's just I can't.
The thing that kills me with it is they keep messing up, but they still try and tell you, like, there's a plan here. With Randy Gregory, Dorrance Armstrong, he's right there. It was kind of like, yeah, this is what we wanted. It's El Paso on that one. Or, we couldn't keep Amari Cooper. So, we just had to just get rid of him. And so you got rid of him for a 5th, and you're looking at teams that are getting all kinds of compensation. I mean, I get it. You need to get rid of him, but you made a terrible deal, and y'all are like, oh, it's all we're good. Okay.
So in other words, they continue to pee down our back and tell us that it's raining.
Yeah. And when you start, the one that kills me is Bobby Wagner. People say, oh, well, he's too old and stuff. But you know what? The way his contract is structured with the Rams right now, he's a $2.5 million cap hit this year. He's 12 next year. Okay. Let's say hypothetically he does not work out for him, that he ends up being old and just doesn't work, right? Worst case is he's a $7 million dead hit next year. So the worst case you can have is you're only risking $9.5 million for Bobby Wagner on your defense. That's the worst case. If you keep him for 2 years, it's $14.5 million. You were willing to pay Randy Gregory $14.5 million for 1 year.
That part.
So that's my thing of, you can't build a team of free agents. So you're telling me a guy who had 170 tackles last year, who knows the system and stuff, that you couldn't afford to do that deal? A $2.5 million cap hit for this year? That you're only risking $10 million?
And when that when you explained, the way the contract was and everything, I just lost my passion. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And to know that we ended up getting rid of Amari Cooper, and then we were trying to get the wide receiver from, we made calls for the wide receiver there in Miami. They made calls for Cooks with the Texans.
Houston, yeah.
Right? You could have just restructured Amari Cooper. Unless it was just a personality situation that just, irreconcilable differences. Okay, I can get that.
Yeah, that was all it could have took.
But then when we get fans that are like, "Oh, let's go get Deebo Samuels." It's like, wait a minute. You're going to pay $29-30 million for him, and you're going to have to give up a lot of draft capital to get him. So you're thinking that's a better move?
Again, I was willing to forgive the Amari Cooper situation because, like you said, we don't know everything that was going on in that.
Yeah.
But the situation, that's just total. That's just malfeasance and just doing a rotten job.
Yeah.
And not knowing what you're doing. That's just not good business sense. And you say you're trying to win. No, you're not. You're trying to remain, as you said, competitive. You're not trying to win anything. So stop telling the fans these lies. You know what? I can understand where I really get angry is when people tell me lies and think I'm not.
That's it. Preach it.
And then another thing.
What you got to do, just don't come in my face with that bull shiggity.
And then another thing, Steve Jones needs to stop covering his ass too.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with Stephen Jones, though. If Stephen Jones weren't working for the Cowboys, what team would hire him?
No one. He'd be at the house.
Thank you.
You're making me laugh, Mark. Stop that.
No, seriously. If he I know. And you can mess up, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you mess up. You're not going to lose your job. You're not going to lose your job.
The reason why mom and pop businesses go out of business for conducting business the way that they've been conducting it. That's why mom and pop businesses can't make it. The only reason they're continuing to make it is because they're billionaires. Typical business, they would have gone under years ago.
Yeah, without a doubt. Eddie B says, look, people, Stephen Jones will get rid of Dak Prescott in a minute if it means saving a buck. So don't get used to seeing him more than the next 3 years. You may be 100% right on that one there, Eddie. Yeah, I can't dispute that.
No.
Can't dispute it.
They're showing the 2005 draft on NFL Network.
Okay.
Yeah, the Alex Smith Aaron Rodgers
that quarterback I was telling you about from West Kentucky, his name is Bailey Zappi. He's from Texas, as a matter of fact.
Okay. All right.
Well, Jim Law. That's what makes me so angry. I'm just responding to Jim Laws in the chat. When people come in my face with nonsense, that's what I can't deal with that.
Yeah, and that's what bothers me on that too, because it's kind of like, oh, we're not done yet. We're open for business here, and it's just the deals just don't work out right, And it's like, you're not even talking to these people. You're not even giving a chance because you don't know what Von Miller might have said. Hey, you know what? I know you guys don't have a whole lot of money to work with.
It makes me
for the future. When top tier free agents are released and they're looking for a new destination, again, this is going to have ramifications for the future because of the way that Stephen is conducting business. These are poor business practices.
Yeah.
And no one, the trust is, who's going to trust him? And people don't want to deal with you when you're not trustworthy.
Well, the question I have is, when they offer these contracts, are they lowballing these contracts so these players will go elsewhere?
They're doing it, and he's just sitting around smiling, thinking that he's such, a
I just think that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's out there in the news saying, "Yeah, we offered this much, but yet it probably wasn't that much."
Okay, let's back up here for a second, okay? Every NFL team realizes the salary cap is going to explode.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? DirecTV, was losing Sunday Ticket. It's going from $1.5 billion to $2.5 billion.
2.5.
Okay? That $1 extra billion equates to $15 million of additional cap revenue for each team.
Yeah.
Just that one. And understand that everybody's deals were somewhere around the $1 billion mark, and now they're like $2.5 billion. So the salary cap they're projecting, because none of that money's even started to be tabulated. By 2024, it's going to be over $300 million cap. That's why teams are going through and doing all these team-friendly, first-year deals and kicking all the money down the road because they know the salary cap's going to explode. Stephen Jones is still doing business like the cap is only going to grow like $10 million a year. It's like, do you not understand? It's going to take a massive jump in the future. So you can take a risk now and know that you'll have the money down the road to do it.
Not to mention, you can only carry over a certain percentage from the year before.
Yeah. And so that's where you look and say, what are you trying to save all this money for? If you look at it and say, we were 12-5 last year. We were close. Had we maybe had an extra offensive lineman, to fill in, maybe if we had had an extra run stuffer, that we may have beat the 49ers and then been playing, later in the season. That should say a couple of pieces is all we need to get over the hump.
And he can't even do that.
But when you go through and say, okay, DeMarcus Lawrence, your cap number is $27 million. If we cut you, we get hit with $19 million, right? You're going to then go ahead and say, how about we just give you $10 million? What? What kind of, wait a minute. What? How do you even come out your mouth with that? The fact that you go through, if you deem a guy that we want to keep, how come you don't make a deal with him to sign him before free agency? Why do you have to have him go out and try and get a deal and then come back to you and try and renegotiate it? That says that I don't know what the market value. I don't want to do the work for it. I don't understand the dynamics of it. That's what they did with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper goes and talks to Washington. Washington makes him an offer. Then he comes back, and then the Cowboys negotiate from there. That's what they did with Randy Gregory. That's what they ended up doing with Jaron Kearse. Jaron Kearse, you insulted him to the point where he's like, screw you, I'm deleting everything. So why do you allow guys that you deem guys you want to keep, guys that you allow to go to free agency?
Because you're a billionaire and you're so intelligent, you know more than anyone else.
Yeah.
You can't tell people who've had money all their lives, you can't tell them anything because they know it all. That's the problem.
Mike Hall said, Mark, there were 29 other teams that didn't want Bobby Wagner. True, there were. That's true. And it may end up being that Bobby Wagner ends up being old and just got himself a paycheck. But I look at it as a risk that's worth taking. I would rather. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'll put it this way. Who would you trust more, Van Der Esch or Bobby Wagner?
Bobby Wagner.
Because we're paying Van Der Esch more money than we're paying Bobby Wagner. Which would have been the better choice for you?
Look at his credentials. Look at his history. That's all you need to do.
That's all I'm saying.
He got Hall of Fame credentials.
And again, I know he's slowing down, but a slowed down Bobby Wagner is better than Van Der Esch. I'm sorry. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
We needed a couple of pieces, and he couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So I'm done, Mark. I'm done. I still look at your videos and come in and have fun.
I appreciate that. So you're the one.
I'm ready to see this draft. That's I'm ready.
Yeah, that'll give us some. You know what? That will be something positive to at least focus on, because then we can start saying, if this guy ends up, fitting in here, and at least it gives us some hope, because it's something positive that we're actually adding. And you know what? Here's the thing that actually, as much as we've been bitching and whining and all that, and I've been doing more than my share of it. Believe me, I have been. I am excited about Dak Prescott this season. Because where we were with him last year, where he couldn't throw in the offseason, he was still in the process of rehabbing. I've had a birdie whisper in my ear about the shape that he is in right now and the strength that he has right now.
Ready to go. He's ready to go.
The fact that he's going to be able to work out with the team and has been working out. And I'm going to even say the same thing about DeMarcus Lawrence, because DeMarcus Lawrence last year had back surgery. DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't been healthy in the offseason in a long time. Yeah. So getting those guys excited and ready to go, even bringing back, I know we didn't get the fancy new pieces, but I'm going to say that on that defensive line, like I don't know if it was you, Troy, that was saying it, or if it was Thomas Garrett, we actually have a chance to have a really good front.
That was me.
Okay, Neville Gallimore, his season was shortened because of the hyperextended elbow in training camp, and this is what always worries me because he'll only miss 4 games. The Cowboys always tell you the perfect scenario of somebody coming back from injury, but it's never correct. So when they say Michael Gallup will miss the first couple of games, I don't expect him back till midseason. But between Neville Gallimore, DeMarcus Lawrence, OC, and rotating in there with Goldston, that's actually a pretty decent. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's lights out, but that's a pretty decent front right there. Dorrance Armstrong, he's a rotational guy. I'm not gonna say he's lights out, but I think actually Dante Fowler, when you look at the numbers of what he had to play with on Atlanta, there was nobody else on that defense that had any attention. He was their number 1 sacker at 4 sacks. Double. So he's facing double teams, I'm sure, because it's like that's the only guy to stop out here. Okay, there's nobody else. But you put him on a defense where you've got a D-Law where people are worrying about, where you've got, is Micah Parsons the Mike linebacker that's now in the gap that's about to blitz, because you've got to account for him. You forget about a Dante Fowler. You'll see his numbers be pretty decent because of the association with the rest of the defensive line.
Mark.
Yes.
Don't be surprised if Dante Fowler have 6 to 8 sacks this year.
I did a video about that. I said, seriously. I said, look for him to get 8 sacks. Look for him to get 8 sacks this season.
You know what? A lot of people are saying that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying, they're predicting 6 to 8 sacks this year.
Yeah. And I could see that because of the other guys that are there. And having a Jaron Curse, Jaron Curse ended up calling out the defense, which gets Micah Parsons able to worry about getting to that quarterback's ass. And see, having these guys in the second year with Dan Quinn, you should have you won't have the learning curve that you had to have before. They should start being able to learn the subtleties of this defense and be more cohesive. And that could be big. And that's where I still dream about Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis, he can plug up the middle.
If you got that, oh my God! If you got that turd in the toilet right there, nothing's going down. That's going to clog up the middle. Like, oh my God! And then that leaves Micah Parsons as the wild card. Oh my God!
That'd be so wild.
That would be incredible. And if you were able to do that, then for once the defense doesn't have to be the redheaded stepchild that we have to protect by keeping them off the field. Then you got a defense that's in there that's doing some scoring, that's getting you the ball, getting you short fields, that's stopping the other team. That makes it that much easier for your offense.
I'm excited to see who they get drafted.
I am too.
This year. It's only 5
What's
days
up, Cole?
It takes so long, that's the only problem.
Mark, I still say we should draft a linebacker. Not in the first round now.
Yeah.
Not in the first round. But somewhere in the third.
Well, we're still going to Eddie. Dear Mark, you and your fan base say the Joneses don't know what they're doing. I mean, and I took blame for their poor decision making. Man, Eddie, can we let go of Jason Garrett? Can we let him go now? Damn. You made me lose my thought there. Damn.
Was that bust
the linebacker?
We're gonna draft a kicker. It's all right. 5th round.
There you go. A kicker in the 5th round. Might as well. Look, I told you guys, 5th rounds have not been good for the Dallas Cowboys.
Games and whatever, man.
5th round draft picks have been horrendous for the Cowboys over the last 10 years.
But
there's only one good kicker out there.
I mean, you look at what you have some kicker. I mean, there's no college kicker right now that wows you in the sense other than like that punter that can kick as well too. But
yeah,
I mean, there has been some
Matt Araiza. Talking about Matt Araiza from San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they call him the punt
ball
dog.
like crazy, and then field goal. So that's a good like backup if you had your punter already not signed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
To a ridiculous, stupid contract. But yeah.
Well, we don't have a place kicker though.
Do we have a kicker?
We signed somebody. Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we
I
did.
mean, they do have a kicker on the roster, but it probably won't be their starting kicker of the season. But
yeah.
Who'd they sign? I know they
it was
let
somebody from the
Zerline
practice
go.
squad. It was the guy from their practice squad already.
Talking about the guy from Southern Methodist, Nager.
Yeah. No. That was their.
That's
You're
the
talking
punter.
about the punter. You're talking about the punter. You're talking about a kicker, field goal kicker.
Yeah.
Like, you know how
I don't
you
know what
let
the guy's name is.
Lauren go. They had somebody already on the roster in that sense. It was on the practice squad. You know how they move from the practice squad to the roster when they move when they come from the season. It's like that.
Okay.
But my whole thing is just like when I would see those, you know, hey, we're trying out kickers, and you know they're cycling like 2 or 3 guys that they're bringing in, and it's like, how many colleges are there out there that each one has a kicker? Like, how are we only cycling 3 people through here? Like,
I could tell you, it was a lot of politics being played with Zerline, the relationship between Zerline
and Bones.
Fossil, man, they were boys,
Also,
you know. So yeah, that was too much politics being played.
Okay, yeah, they have Chris Nager.
But that's what the Cowboys do with kickers. They keep, it is okay because we did that with Money Maher. Money Maher should have been kicked to the curb in the middle of the season, a couple of years ago. But they stick with them too long.
Yeah.
You're talking about Miss Me Maher?
Yeah, I mean, great. You can hit the 60-plussers, but you can't make the ones under 40. What the hell is that?
and the one kicker that was like, I was like 4. I don't know. What was it? Kobach or something like that?
Kai Forbath.
Kai Forbath, yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was the kicker that should have kept.
Yeah. Hey, we should have went with what was, I can't pronounce his last name that we had. It was like Hallelujah or something. That dude was all right.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That dude was okay.
He went with the Saints or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
that's one of
my gosh.
your line had like COVID or something. Yeah.
No, he signed with Carolina. That's what it was.
Ruben Wall says there's a kicker here out of Texas Tech that kicks consistent 65-yard field goals.
See, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consistency. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And then
Like how we had him Bailey.
Yeah, I was more attracted to the beginning part of that field goal than I was at the end. I was constant.
yeah, and then you got what's the name from LSU, K York.
Welcome, Mel Johnson, to the channel membership. Make sure there's a post in the community tab in there for channel members where you can go to our site to go ahead and get your shot glass and everything to get registered and stuff.
I still haven't done that.
You still haven't done that?
No.
Man, do that. Man, you get to actually talk to my wife and stuff. She actually takes care of that and makes sure that I end up sending everything out that needs to go out. And as Stacy Stacy's become her best friend and stuff. Because Stacy's the spy in here, just kind of like, I'm keeping my eye on you, and I've got, Tracy's phone number. So it's like, why y'all double teaming me here? Okay, why you both putting a foot in my ass?
I'll do it right after this.
Okay. But we'll do that and get you your shot glass and stuff, or depending on which level it is, get you your stuff and stuff on there.
No, see, that's what the upgrades. See, that's what I was thinking about upgrading.
Oh, okay.
I was
Upgrading,
watching
you
one of
definitely
my other favorite.
Getting your stress football. Every Cowboy fan needs a stress football.
Yeah, I want mine too.
Okay.
Give me one. I need one, Mark.
Yeah, and actually, I've got to do the gold. My biggest problem is I don't have the time. I need more time or a clone, one or the other. I need more time or I need a clone, because I've got to get for all of the channel members that are tailgate members that have been there for more than 2 years. They're getting they're going to get a gold Joe Barty and stuff sent. I just don't have enough time to get everything done.
He just doesn't have the time. He doesn't care about it.
I think a bold statement would be for me in this sense of this draft is to say that we'll take a tight end before a receiver.
Ooh.
You know what? I wouldn't mind that. Because
fourth round,
12 personnel for the Cowboys is one of their best. If I was going to say, what are the Cowboys, what should be their bread and butter, it should be 12 personnel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, what? I know the younger generation, they want to see 3 and 4 wideouts, but actually, If you've got 2 tight ends that can catch the ball and that can block, you can do everything out of there.
I want us to run the ball.
You can run. Well, you look at the situation. Do they have 8 men in the box? Okay, then my tight ends are now receivers. I'm going to pass, because I've got numbers and things like that. If they don't put 8 men in the box, then I've got numbers and I can run the ball on them all day long. Exactly. And the Cowboys have been one of the best teams out of 12 personnel without having that great tight end. Imagine if we had a great tight end. If we had a great,
even a complimentary tight end to what we have now instead of like a exact copy of what we have.
I would rather do that than the wide receiver. There's no ifs, ands, or buts on that one at all.
Or what about James Cook, the running back?
Wait a minute. I love weed. I have a stress bong.
Yeah, I'd like to have him. But like later on.
You really do love weed, don't you? You like being under stress, don't you? Yeah, man. I'm under stress right now.
There's like 6 or 7 running backs there that are like later on that you can kind of get that are like, you got Haskins, you have obviously the running back from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You have, you even have Devontae Price. You have there's a lot of guys in there that you can just pick up that really kind of maybe get in there to kind of start getting ready for the next season when you possibly looking at Pollard being gone because they can't re-sign him.
Pollard
being gone because they can't afford him. That kind of
Well,
stuff.
the question not so much. The question is, can you afford him? The question is, do you want to pay a running back again?
Yeah,
that's the bigger question.
You got the running back from Michigan State. You got the one from Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good running backs out there.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, Stacey was saying.
You better say bye to Tony P. That Steven is not paying him, so don't get too attached.
Hey, we could be saying bye to Zeke.
I think both of them. I really do. Yeah, I agree. Cole. I really think both.
Trouble is,
Eddie, I'm not hiring Jason Garrett to do nothing, man. What's he gonna do? Come in here and just clap for me? Hey, way to go, Mark! Come on, Eddie. What is wrong with you?
I see Garrett coming back as a front office guy.
Oh God,
that's the worst part of it. That's that I can see.
So he can clap in the
Well, he also.
Well, would he be any worse than Stephen Jones? If you had to choose between Stephen Jones and and Jason Garrett picking the players,
Garrett,
I would actually take Jason Garrett.
I would say as long as he takes the contract negotiations too, yeah.
I can't. Where do you look at and say that damn Stephen Jones? That's a hell of a job that he's done on anything.
We haven't.
I agree.
We haven't been able to say that yet.
Mark has shown us the future. He prepared us, so no one should be shocked at anything from here on out. He has shared and watched his videos, which I try to watch all of them. None of us should be shocked. We can continue to vent and become angry, but nothing should shock us because we already know what we're dealing with.
Right. And he's already said that, when Dad's gone, I don't see us taking very many risks.
Because he's not taking any now.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to.
When you hear stuff like that,
need to.
It pisses me off when I hear stuff. Like, I just wish he just didn't talk.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd rather have Jerry talk.
Me too. I love to hear Jerry talk.
Jerry,
at least he give us hope, man.
Well, or at least gives you a good sound bite and stuff that you can say, what the hell is he talking about?
Right,
oh, boy.
How did Jerry get all of his millions? Taking risk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But
he freaking needs to take his son's head, open it up, pour in some of that, and say, start taking risk, you SOB.
The first generation builds the business. The second generation destroys it.
Exactly.
That's
Mark.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever said and thought that the reason why Steven is like he is because he never forgot about that night when him and Jerry almost got into it over Dion, and he probably got in his mind, I'm gonna show you.
I don't know. I think he's just an idiot.
He is.
That's a long drawn out plan right there.
I mean, I just he just
Long and drawn
he's
out.
been entitled. He's got no ramifications on anything. I mean, you screwed the pooch on Randy Gregory and what happened? You screwed the pooch on that deal. So what? Okay.
Yep, and Daddy Jones had his back too, because I know he would piss when Randy Gregory left.
Right, and then you screwed the pooch with D-Law originally, right?
Oh my God.
Okay, you got him pissed off, and that didn't work out. You screwed the pooch with Amari Cooper's deal. None of it matters.
And if you think about it, it took Jabber to rescue him from out of that situation.
It really did. Well, we've been on almost 2 hours here, so we got just a few minutes left here, and I'll let each of y'all get your thoughts in on what the Dallas Cowboys should do. If you were the GM, what's your move for the draft? What you got there, Thomas?
Huh?
What you pulling out there? What was that you're pulling out, Thomas?
Ribs.
I thought that looked like some ribs. I was like, wait a minute, look at this mother humper here. He's teasing us. Damn. Okay. All right. Primetime Phil. Phil, tell us about your studio there, because I see we're in the Primetime Studios.
I like that studio.
I appreciate that.
And why is it green?
Well, it's go time. It's go time this week. It's
Okay.
green lights on.
Green
Like
lights
some
on.
like Will McClay. This is my favorite part in the sense of Will McClay. This is the little beacon of light in that tunnel that's so dark.
Mm-hmm.
Is what he's able to pull out and what he's able to find. And you just, again, my hope is that Steven, when he eventually takes over, he's just going to want to be a face, and you let Will do everything else in the background. And, but he's going to step in there. He's going to do his Stephen Jones thing. And so I'm with you guys. I mean, but as for the studio, it's this past year when I opened up the videos and everything like that, it's been a slow process of just building the thing. And honestly, just I got from each person, I think I got like a Law Nation thing down there as well, like in the thing. I got up here.
I can see the football
Cowboys
rack.
blog. I got a bunch of little things from like the guys that I follow as well too. So I mean, it's just definitely something I've been trying to jump into, and I just honestly getting inspiration from you guys. I mean, you guys have been awesome. You got somebody that you cover almost everything. You got other people that cover draft stuff. I mean, so it's just a great community that I'm happy to be starting to get a part of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the monitors and stuff around the TVs and things. It looks
that's
cool.
that's just that way. You don't know what's here. Like,
believe me, I can believe it, because I've got like 5 right here, and then the TV's there. People don't have a clue. It's like, they're just doing YouTube. It's sit down and get. No, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on that people don't really have a clue that's going on in here and stuff. So shout out to you, man. I love it.
that.
What's your plans for the draft?
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I thought I was going to be one of doing my first live ones, but honestly, with everybody doing their thing, I kind of just want to be part of everybody's kind of community as a chat and stuff like that too. So it's just, it may be a spare of the moment thing, seeing what everybody else does. I was just kind of, I'm going to be part of the fan base, really, honestly.
Well, don't forget, we will have the Zoom link up for channel members to be part of our, studio audience and stuff. We started that a few years ago when the pandemic first hit, and it's been actually fun, because seeing Philly 500 melt down when they drafted Hurts, that's classic and stuff.
There's got to be a reason for that.
Oh, yeah. And so there we've got, of course, my man, I see you've got the whole Cowboys set up behind you. What you think, Troy? What is your wish for this draft?
Just take the best available player that you have at your pick, or if somebody wants to come up and get somebody, and your player is going to be there, go ahead and do the trade and trade down for a bit, a couple back.
All right.
But personally, I think we need to shore up the O-line first, more than anything, because if you can't get that running game going, the passing game is just going to flounder, and eventually Dak's going to throw more interceptions than he ever threw previously. So if you can't shore up that O-line, that's you're really asking for trouble. So I hope they go O-line.
Thomas Garrett, are you finished eating the ribs? I heard the fork in on the plate and everything else. Huh?
I haven't even started yet.
Oh, are you sure? You sure I don't see a little piece of rib right there on your lip? Look, no, I ain't started yet. Look.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to see the Cowboys do?
Well, I just hope we don't screw it up, Mark.
Just don't screw it up. Okay, don't pull a New York Giant.
Picking a player is going to be a way better thing than that one.
All right. Well, that's an easy one.
You know, we can, we have needs, and I just hope that we draft what's needed. And I told you a while back, linebacker, but we don't need a linebacker in the first. We don't need a linebacker in the first. I just hope that we draft the right players in the right positions that that need to be drafted in, and I just hope that we don't have an episode like Philly 500 had a couple of years ago. Well, we hope that Philly 500 have heels, but I just hope that we don't have one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Stacy.
Well, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon and say what the other Jobu Sports members said. BPA. So I hope they do that. They follow that. And I also hope that they go out and once these veteran players are released from teams after the draft, I hope they'll go out and try to just get the additional two or three pieces that we need to get us over the hump. That's all I would ask for.
Okay. Blue Virus.
Yo. I just hope the best for the Dallas Cowboys. I just hope they make us fans happy, and I'm gonna go with you guys. Just follow along with you guys said. O-line and so on. I don't know. Just
all right.
I'm not a GM.
Well, let me say,
hope,
Yeah, I hope let's just hope they don't screw it up. That's all we hope for. They hope they don't screw it up. Well, I appreciate everybody spending a Sunday evening and stuff together here. Hopefully we end up having a great draft and stuff. Shout out to everybody who's watching the stream. And Eddie, it's time to put away Jason Garrett, buddy. It's time to let that go, man. You let Jason Garrett go. Yeah, he got a job now. He's working at the USFL with that shit-eating grin. Anyway, we at least will have something good to talk about the draft, or maybe we'll be talking about the Cowboys screwing up the draft and what players we don't like, and they'll turn out to be Hall of Famers and so on. But at least this week will be a better week than the past couple, hopefully. And I hope everybody takes it easy. Don't forget to keep my buddy Stuart in your prayers. He was in here for a little bit earlier. He's under the weather, waiting for some test results and stuff like that. But make sure you guys, every single one of you, find somebody that you love and make sure you tell them that you love them, because you might not get the chance to again, and you don't want to have that regret. And with that being said, we are going to get ready to get out of here, and we're going to end it with a pre-draft move here.
Ooh.
I fire Howie. Fucking fire. Stupid motherfucker.
Make that my ringtone.
What an idiot! What an idiot!
See, it's funny. I live like an hour from Philly.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Nice. I've got to meet him.
I would love to meet him too.
He's stupid. I fire his ass.
Shoot, Mark, how the way he talk, it's out. He act like he don't like living out there in California.
What are you
doing? He doesn't.
Oh, California.